So we have been talking a little bit about kind of the problem symptoms here, but to really create change starts with inquiring into the deeper structural and systemic issues that make us reenact the same problems, the same three divides, time and again. So what are some of these underlying structures and forces that make us operate this way? And on a first level, we see a set of structural disconnects in the form of 8 different specific structural disconnects that I'm not going through in all detail today, but that we will cover later on in u.lab. I just want to give you 3 quick examples. It's the disconnect between finite resources on planet Earth and infinite growth. That's one example. It's the disconnect between the financial economy, the financial kind of casino economy, you could say, on the one hand, and the real economy on the other hand. And it's also the disconnect between GDP and well-being. So the fact that in all developed countries today, more GDP, more output, and consumption of products and services does not translate into more well-being. So those would be like 3 exemplary disconnects here. But then there are 5 more, and we'll kind of cover them all. At this point, I would like to invite you to fast forward and then ask the deeper question, which is, what actually are the root causes that make us reenact all of the above? And in my view, the most important root cause originates right between our ears. It originates in our quality of thinking, in our paradigms of thought, particularly in our paradigms of economic thought. Thinking creates the world. And that is nowhere more visible than in the economy. If we look at the evolution of the economy and the evolution of modern economic thought, we can differentiate between 3 main stages. This is exactly the moment where I tend to lose my audience. Who wants to hear about economic history and history of economic thought? So so bear with me just for 3 minutes, and I will walk you through 300 years of modern economic history and history of modern economic thought. So if we look into that, then we can differentiate between 3 main stages. The state-centric economy that creates some stability but is lacking dynamism, which then leads to the 2.0 market economy, which is the free market economy, which gives rise to the entrepreneurial class, kind of gives rise to the market forces and uses market and competition as a more decentralized way of coordinating the economy, creating great progress, but also a lot of externalities, which then leads to the 3.0 economy, the social market economy, or as we say here in the United States, stakeholder capitalism, with an evolved framework that is taking care of some of the domestic externalities and has worked well for many people throughout the 20th century, particularly in the OECD countries. However, as we move into the 21st century, and as we have been moving into the 21st century, this system clearly is hitting a wall because we are unable to deal with global externalities like climate change, global kind of rising levels of inequity and so forth. We believe the current crisis of our economic and social system is actually a transition period for us to move into a 4.0 economy in which the 3 sectors of society, business, government, and civil society, are no longer conflicting, working against each other, but begin to co-create and collaborate in a way that allows us to innovate at the scale of the whole system and to not only innovate in small pockets of the system. The main point I want to make is this, that we can see the economic, the evolution, the development of the economy and the evolution of economic thought as an embodiment of an evolving human consciousness that is moving from traditional awareness, right, 1.0, to ecosystem awareness 2.0, something we still teach today at business schools around the world, Homo economicus, to a 3.0 stage of awareness, which is stakeholder awareness, which is what you need to do to be successful in all real organizations, in business and government and civil society, operating on a stakeholder awareness that takes care of the key needs and requirements for the key stakeholders you are dealing with. And then what we believe is that we should be moving towards something that we call ecosystem awareness. And what I mean by ecosystem awareness is an awareness that is focusing on the well-being of not only a few, but the well-being of all. So you could say that in many ways, the key challenge today in many systems is to bring together diverse stakeholder groups that need each other in order to change the system and make them move from a silo perspective that operates based on an ecosystem awareness to a more holistic systems view that operates based on an ecosystem awareness. That shift, that ego to eco shift in multi-stakeholder groups, in my view, is the most important leadership challenge today, and it's the same across countries and across systems.